Yo, what's up everybody? This is Talkative Carl back again for another gameplay of Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. Wrapping up my villain deck video. We're doing Vector, Vectrix, Zark, and Sora. So yeah. We'll go right into it. I want to just give a little shout out to the new follower Haas 00312. Thanks for the follow. Also, on all the new subscribers on my YouTube channel, like I'm just one subscriber away from the goal. So keep coming, keep getting those subscribers out, guys. You know, I'm eager to do that live one chip challenge as per the goal. And yeah, I'm excited, but you know, worried at the same time, because I've seen those one chip challenges back in the day. Doesn't look too pleasant. I'll do it for you guys. Yeah, we gotta, try things just at least once. Some things just, try some things at least once in your life. Okay, first we'll go with Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal's Vector. Dawn Thousands Throne. During each of your opponent's end phases, gain life points equal to the number of times you took battle damage this turn times 500. When a number of monsters you control is targeted for an attack, except number C monsters, you can send this card to the graveyard, negate the attack, then special summon from your extra deck one number C monster in its name as the number monster you control by using it as the Xyz material. You can only control one Dawn Thousands Throne. No problem. Rank up Magic Admiration of the Thousands. Target one or more Xyz monsters in each graveyard, all of the same rank. Special summon from your extra deck one number C or Xyz monster that is one rank higher than those monsters and attach those monsters to it as Xyz material. You cannot special summon other monsters during the turn you activate this card. You can only activate this once per turn. Rank up Magic Argent Chaos Force. Target one rank 5 or higher Xyz monster you control. Special summon from your extra deck one number C or Xyz monster that is one rank higher than that monster you control by using it as the Xyz material. When a rank 5 or higher Xyz monster is special summoned to your side of the field while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use this effect once per duel. Sargasso Lighthouse. When a spell effect that would inflict damage to you is activated, you take no damage from that effect. While this card is in your graveyard, you take no damage from the effect of Sargasso DD Battlefield. When this set card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Sargasso the DD Battlefield from your deck to your hand. Sargasso the DD Battlefield. Each time a monster is Xyz summoned, the summoning player takes 500 damage. During each player's end phase, the turn player takes 500 damage if they control a face-up Xyz monster. Corrupted Keys. Target one face-up Xyz monster you control. Special summon 3 Umbral Horror Mirage tokens. Main type Dark level 1. Unknown attack defense 0. When summoned, each token's attack becomes equal to that Xyz monster's current attack. They cannot attack your opponent directly or be tributed, except for a tribute summon. When this face-up Xyz monster leaves the field, destroy these tokens. Vain Betrayer. When an opponent's Xyz monster declares an attack, activate this card by targeting the attacking monster. It cannot attack, also its effects are negated while that monster is on the field during each of your opponent's end phases. Send the top 3 cards of the opponent's deck to the graveyard. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. Star Seraph Sage. Once per turn, you can send 1 spell card from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Star Seraph monster from your hand. Star Seraph Scale. When this card is special summoned, you can special summon 1 Star Seraph monster from your hand. Then you can place 1 light monster from your graveyard on top of your deck. An Xyz monster that was summoned using 3 or more monsters, including this card, on the field as Xyz materials, gains this effect. Once per turn, while this card is as Xyz material, if a monster is special summoned from the hand, immediately draw 1 card. I forgot to include because I set up this deck after I ended the last video. I completely forgot to include my Xyz monsters for Vector. Dang it. And I was thinking about using this for my Noble Knights deck. This is Lancelot. And that's it. Okay, where was I? All right, sorry about that. All right. Star Seraph Scale. When this card is special summon, you can special summon one Star Seraph monster from your hand, and you can place one light monster from your graveyard on top of your deck. An Xyz monster that was summoned using 3 or more monsters, including this card on the field as Xyz material, gains this effect once per turn. While this card has Xyz material, if a monster is summoned, special summoned from the hand, immediately draw 1 card. Star Seraph Scepter. When this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Star Seraph monster from your deck to your hand instead of Star Seraph Scepter. An Xyz monster that was summoned using 3 or more monsters, including this card on the field, Xyz materials, gains this effect. When it is Xyz summoned, you can target 1 other monster on the field, destroy it, and if you do, draw 1 card. Star Seraph Scout. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon 1 Star Seraph monster from your hand. Star Seraph Sovereignty. Cannot be used for an Xyz material for an Xyz summon except for an Xyz summon that uses 3 or more monsters as Xyz material. If you normal or special summon a Star Seraph monster, except during the demo step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, draw 1 card. Then you can special summon it if it's a Star Seraph monster. Star Seraph Sword. Once per turn, you can send 1 Star Seraph monster from your hand to the graveyard. This card gains attack equal to the original attack of the sent monster until the end phase. Umber Horror Ghost. During your main phase, you can special summon this card and 1 level 4 or lower fiend type monster from your hand. You cannot normal summon or set during the turn you activate this effect. You can only use this effect of Umber Horror Ghost once per turn. Umbral Horror Ghoul. Once per turn, you can make this card's attack 0. If you do, special summon 1 Umbral Horror monster with 0 attack from your hand. Umbral Horror Uniform. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard while attacking a monster, you can special summon 2 Umbral Horror monsters from your deck. You can only use this effect once per turn. Umbral Horror Will of the Wisp. When this card is normal or special summon, you can target one Umbral Horror monster you control or in your graveyard except this card. This card's level becomes that current level of that monster. When this attack position card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard and was in face-up attack position at the start of the damage step, destroy the monster that destroyed this card. Umbral Soul. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, destroy all face down and non-dark monsters. Number 102, Star Seraph Sentry. Requires 3 light level 4 monsters to summon. Once per turn, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card and target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Have its attack, also negate its effects. This card's face-up if this face-up card on the field will be destroyed, and you can detach all of its Exceeds materials instead. And if you do, any battle damage you take this turn is halved. Number 104, Masquerade. Requires 3 level 4 monsters. During either player's battle phase, when an opponent's monster effect is activated, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. Once per turn, you can send the top card of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. Number 43, Manipulator of Souls. Requires 3 level 2 dark monsters. Once per turn, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card and target one number monster in your graveyard. Equip that target to this card. While equipped with a number card, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, when you gain life points except during the damage step, you can make this card gain an equal amount of attack. Also inflict that much damage to your opponent if this card is face up on the field. Number 66, Master Key Beetle. Requires 2 level 4 dark monsters. Once per turn, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card and target one card you control, except this card. While this card is face up on the field, that card cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this face-up card on the field will be destroyed, you can send one of its targets to the graveyard instead. Number 96, Dark Mist. Requires 3 level 2 monsters. Once per battle during either player's turn, when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card, half the attack of the opponent's monster, and if you do, this card gains the same amount of the attack. Number 102, Archfiend Seraph. Requires 4 level 5 light monsters. If this face-up card will be destroyed, you can detach 2 Exceeds materials from this card instead. If the last Exceeds material is detached from this card, inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. If this card has number 102 Star Seraph Sentry as an Exceeds material, it gains this effect. Once per turn, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card and target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change the target's attack to 0, and if you do, negate its effects. Number C103, Ragnafidity. Requires 3 level 5 monsters. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card and target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference between that monster's original attack and its current attack, and if you do, banish it. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, while it has Exceeds material, you can special summon this card. Number 103, Ragnar 0 must be in your graveyard to activate and to resolve this effect. Number C104, Umbral Horror Masquerade. Requires 4 level 5 monsters. When this card is special summoned, you can target one spell or trap card on the field, destroy that target. If this card has 104 Masquerade as Exceeds material, gain this effect. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a monster effect is activated, and on your opponent's side of the field, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card, negate the activation, Then you can send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, and if you do, half your opponent's life points. Number C43, High Manipulator of Chaos. Requires 4 level 3 dark monsters to summon. All tokens you control can make a second attack during each battle phase. This card has Manipulator of Souls as it sees material against this effect. Well, once per turn, you can detach one seized material from this card, special summon one Manipulator token, being type dark level 1 unknown attack and defense. When summoned, its attack and defense each become equal to half the opponent's current life points. Number C5, Chaos Chimera Dragon. Requires 3 or more level 6 monsters. This card gains 1000 attack for each Xyz material attached to it. If this card attacks at the end of the damage step, you can attach one Xyz material from this card. This card can attack an opponent's monster again in a row. At the end of the battle phase, you can pay half your life points, then target 2 cards in any graveyard. Place one of them on the top of the deck, and if you do, attach the other to this card as Xyz material. Very helpful. Number C65, King Overfiend. Requires 3 level 3 dark monsters. Once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 1000 attack and defense. While this card has number 65, Jin Buster as an Xyz material, or Jin Buster as an Xyz material. Against this effect, effect monsters your opponent controls cannot activate their effects. I don't have Jin Buster, but that's alright. Let's get started. I saw the Spider-Man 3 trailer earlier today. Oh my god, it's gonna be nuts, man. I mean, yes, I know, you have to temper your expectations, but come on, man. Everything about this is just working. And they're playing coy with us, like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire didn't officially announce whether or not they're gonna be in the movie, but you got their freaking villains in there, so it'll behoove them not to put these or get these actors to appear at least once, in this film, because we'll probably never get this kind of thing ever again in our lifetime. Just Spider-Verse it up, man. And I understand this is a teaser trailer, but it's very like Tom Holland centered, which is which is understandable. Like, this is his movie. Just like Spider-Verse is a Miles centered story with like some other different Spider-Man characters or variants. Then not put a fine point it, but you manage to still make it about Miles. You can do the same thing with Tom Holland about him, but you get these these other Spider-Man that come in, and this is like playing the greatest hits from these other Spider-Man movies. It's gonna be great, man. I'm just so looking forward to this. It wasn't a good start. Again. That's what I needed in the first place. Didn't want to do any repeats, but it was just too quick. At some point next month I will be starting like a video with all the favorite decks that I built personally for myself from this game. That's gonna be a little longer than even this video, like at least in multiple videos. Had to add. Normally, you just have Umbra Horrors cards, but there's not enough support, so I have to backfill it with some Star Seraph stuff. Oh, I've never seen this before. Can't attack it directly. Make this relatively quick. I'll do one more. It's like, oh, part of me doesn't feel comfortable. Win or lose this one, make sure we get another one. Oh, I forgot to ditch one card. Okay. There we go. Now it's Vectrix's turn. Heraldic deck. Mm. Be right with you. On. Okay. I was gonna add burial from a different dimension, but it's like, you know, it's fine. Alrighty then. Now, Vectrix in his heraldic deck. Avenge Heraldry Art. Target 2 heraldic beast monsters in your graveyard. Special summon both those targets. Immediately after this card resolves, Xyz summon one Xyz monster using those 2 monsters only. Augmented Heraldry. Psychic type Xyz monsters on the field cannot be targeted by spell or trap card effects. Once per turn, you can discard 1 heraldic beast monster, add 1 heraldic spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, except this card. You cannot no more special summon monsters during the turn you activate this effect, except psychic type Xyz monsters and heraldic beast monsters, even if this card leaves the field. Heraldic Reborn. Target 1 heraldic beast monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Mystical Cards of Light. You cannot use one of your spell or trap card zones. During your draw phase, if you control another Mystical Cards of Light, you can draw 2 cards instead of your normal 1 draw. Heraldry Change. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, special summon 1 heraldic beast monster from your hand, then end the battle phase. Heraldry Record. When an effect of your opponent's Xyz monster is activated by detaching its own Xyz materials, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Reinforce Space. Each face-up Xyz monster you control gains 300 attack for each Xyz material attached to it until the end phase. I don't think I covered this, just in case. Xyz effect: when you Xyz summon a monster, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. Xyz Reborn: target 1 Xyz monster in your graveyard, special summon it. If you do, attach this to it as Xyz material. Xyz Reflect: when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated that targets a face of Xyz monster on the field, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it, then inflict 800 damage to your opponent. Xyz Extreme: when an Xyz monster you control is destroyed by battle, pay 1000 life points. You reveal 1 Xyz monster from the extra deck with a rank less than or equal to that destroyed monsters, and so can your opponent simultaneously. Player who revealed the monster with the lowest attack takes damage equal to the difference between the revealed monster's attacks. If the opponent doesn't reveal a monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of your revealed monster. Heraldic Beast Aberconway. If this card is in the graveyard, you can banish another Heraldic Beast Aberconway from your graveyard to target 1 Heraldic Beast monster in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Infespinia. You can discard 1 other Heraldic Beast monster, special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, you can discard 1 Heraldic Beast monster. This card gains 800 attack until the end of this turn. Basilisk. After damage calculation during any opponent's monster, destroy any opponent's monster that battles this card. Burner's Falcon. Bernese Falcon. I think it's like supposed to be about the Bernese Falcon. But Burner's Falcon. When this card is summoned, you can make all face-up level 5 or higher monsters you can currently control become level 4. Ale. If you control 2 or more Heraldic Beast monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Leo. During the end phase of the turn this card was normal summoned, destroy this card. When this card is sent to the graveyard, add 1 Heraldic Beast monster from your deck to your hand, except Leo. You can only use this effect once per turn. Twin-Headed Eagle. You can banish this card from your graveyard to target 1 face-up Xyz monster you currently control with no Xyz materials. Add 2 Heraldic Beast monsters in your graveyard. Attach those monsters from the graveyard to that face-up Xyz monster as Xyz materials. You can only use this effect once per turn. Unicorn. You can banish this card from your graveyard to target 1 Psychic type Xyz monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. Its effects are negated. You can only use this effect once per turn. Number 10, Illuminite. Requires 3 level 4 monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, draw 1 card. Number 18, Heraldic Patriarch. Requires 2 level 4 monsters. Once per chain during either player's turn, if 2 or more monsters with the same name are on the field, you can detach 1 of the Xyz material from this card, choose 1 monster among those with the same name, and destroy all other monsters with that name. While this card remains face up on the field, your opponent cannot summon monsters with the same name as any of the monsters chosen for this card's effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 2 Heraldic Beast monsters from your deck to the graveyard. Number 30, Acid Golem of Destruction. Requires 2 level 3 monsters. During your standby phase, detach 1 Xyz material from this card or take 2000 damage. You cannot special summon any monsters. While this card has no Xyz materials, it cannot attack. Number 56, Gold Rat. Requires 3 level 1 monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, draw 1 card, then shuffle 1 card from your hand to the deck. Number 69, Heraldry Caress. 69. Requires 3 level 4 monsters. If this card is special summoned, negate the effects of all other face-up Xyz monsters currently on the field. You can target 1 other face-up Xyz monster on the field till the end phase. This card's name becomes that monster's and replace this effect with that monster's original effects. You can only use this effect once per turn. Number 8, Heraldic King Gnome Heritage. Requires 2 level 4 Heraldic Beast monsters. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up Xyz monster your opponent controls. This card's name and original attack become that monster's name and current attack, and replace this effect with that monster's original effects. Then that monster's attack becomes 0. Also, its effects are negated. These effects last until the end phase. And number C69, Heraldry Crest of Horror. Requires 4 level 5 monsters. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. If this card has number 69 attached, it gains this effect. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card and target 1 face Xyz monster your opponent controls. This card gains attack equal to that face-up monster's original attack, and if it gains attack this way, this card's name becomes that monster's, and it gains that monster's original effect. These effects last until the end phase. Okay. Let's give it a whirl swirl. Let's try something. Let's hoping that will work. Wow, that was not good. Get rid of that. Dang it. I was kind of hoping I would summon like a Xyz monster by this point. Yan. I'll try one more time, but if I can't get a win, I'll just move on to Sora's deck. And now we're cooking with gas. Not exactly the cleanest way I want to win, but it's a win. Okay. Eh. Mm. Okay. Okay, Edge, Fluffle, Frifer. So now. That. What was that? I can't see it from the picture. One thing before defusing, I gotta add in. Pick one deck. There it is. Battle Fusion. I didn't know I even had this card in the game. Only ever use this card in this particular deck. Okay. One more. That card. Okay, there we go. All right, Sora. After this, we'll do Zark, but it's gonna be just using Yugioh's deck. Pretty much the same thing. All right. I really like Sora's deck. Sora's Frifer deck is like amazing. All right, Battle Fusion. When an attack is declared involving a fusion monster you control and opponent's monster, that monster you control gains attack equal to the attack of the opponent's monster until the end of the damage step. You can only use this effect once per turn. Frightful Factory. You can banish one polymerization spell card or fusion spell card from your graveyard, except the fusion wave motion. Fusion summon one Frightful fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or your side to field as fusion materials. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Frightful fusion added to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Frightful Fusion. Fusion summon one Frightful Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. Fusion Substitute. This card's name is also always treated as polymerization. Fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion materials. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one fusion monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, then draw one card. Suture Rebirth. Target one Flawful or Frightful monster in your graveyard. You also summon it, but its effects are negated. You can only activate one Suture Rebirth per turn. Toy Vendor. Once per turn, you can discard one card, draw one card, and reveal it. And if it's a Flawful monster, you can supposed to summon one monster from your hand. Otherwise, discard the card you drew. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Edge Imp Cerberus or one Flawful monster from your deck to your hand. Designer Frightful. Target one Edge Imp or Flawful monster in your graveyard, supposed to summon it, and if you do, it can be treated as a Frightful monster for a fusion summon. Flawful Crane. When a face-up Flawful monster you control is destroyed by your opponent's attack or card effect and sent to the graveyard, target one of those destroyed monsters, add it to your hand, and if you do, draw one card. Frightful March. When an opponent's spell or trap card or monster effect is activated that targets a Frightful monster you control, negate the activation, and if you do destroy that card, then you can send one targeted Frightful monsters to the graveyard, and if you do, supposed to summon one level 8 or higher Frightful fusion monsters from your extra deck. During your next end phase, banish the monster supposed to summon by this effect. Fusion Reserve. Reveal one fusion monster in your extra deck and add one fusion materials listed on that card from your deck to your hand. Then you can add one polymerization from your graveyard to your hand. Punch in a Box. When your opponent's monster declares an attack while they control two or more monsters, target the attacking monster, negate that attack, and if you do, send one other monster they control to the graveyard. Then the targeted monster loses attack equal to the original attack and defense, whichever is higher, your choice of tide of the sent monster to the graveyard. So it's kind of like, you know, what is Joey's trap card? Arm Shield. Edge Imp Chain. When this card declares an attack, you can add one Edge Imp Chain from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add one Frightful card from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Edge Imp Frightful Lloyd. You can target one Frightful fusion monster you control or in your graveyard. This card's attack and defense each become equal to the original attack and defense of that monster until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. Edge Imp Cerberus. If this card is in your graveyard, you can place one card from your hand to the top of your deck. You also summon this card in defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn. Edge Imp Saw. When this card is normal summon, you can send one Flawful monster from your hand to the graveyard, draw two cards, then place one card from your hand or either the top or bottom of your deck. You can only use this effect once per turn. Edge Imp Tomahawk. You can send one Edge Imp monster from your hand to the graveyard, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. You can send one Edge Imp monster from your deck to the graveyard except Tomahawk. This card's name counts the send monster's name until the end phase. You can only use this effect once per turn. Lawful Bear. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, set one toy vendor directly from your deck to the spell and trap card zone. You can tribute this card, then target one polymerization in your graveyard added to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Yeah, side note, when Sora, first dueled in a tournament, all the kids in the crowd went nuts when they saw like these cute little animals, but when he started fusing something with these saw-like things and started ripping them apart, apparently it was off screen, but apparently even though they're stuffed animals, it was freaking a lot of kids out, because I guess it was like still gory in their eyes, like you just chopping up adorable little animals, stuffed animals, but still it was like freaking people out, and then you turn them into like Frankenstein monstrosities. So it was like, whoa, like Sora just got real. Flawful Cat. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for a fusion summon, you can target one polymerization in your graveyard added to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Flawful Dog. When this card is normal or special summon from the hand, you can add one Edge Imp Cyberus or Flawful monster from your deck to your hand, except Dog. You can only use this effect once per turn. Flawful Leo. When this card declares an attack, it gains 500 attack until the end of the battle phase. Flawful Mouse. During your main phase, you can special summon up to 2 copies of Flawful Mouse from your deck. This effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this effect except for Frightful monster. Flawful Owl. When this card is normal or special summon from the hand, you can add one polymerization from your deck to your hand. You can pay 500 life points, fusion summon one Frightful fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or your side of the field as fusion materials. You can only use this effect once per turn. Flawful Rabbit. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for a fusion summon, you can target one Edge Imp Cyberus or Flawful monster in your graveyard, except Rabbit, added to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Flawful Sheep. You control a Flawful monster except Sheep. You can special summon this card from your hand. You can return one other Flawful monster you control to the hand. Special summon one Edge Imp monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. Flawful Wings. If this card is in your graveyard and you control Toy Vendor, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Flawful monster in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, draw one card. Then you can send one Toy Vendor you control to the graveyard, and if you do, draw one card. You can only use this effect once per turn. Frightful Bear. Requires Edge Imp, Cyberus, and Flawful Bear. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can equip that monster to this card as an equipped spell card with this effect. The equipped monster gains 1000 attack. Frightful Chimera. Requires 3 Frightful monsters. If this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon that monster to your side of the field. But its attack is halved. You can only use this effect once per turn. This card gains 300 attack for each monster you control that is owned by your opponent. Frightful Leo. Requires Edge Imp Saw and one Flawful monster. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. You can only use this effect once per turn. This card cannot attack your opponent directly during the turn you activate this effect. Frifer Sabertooth requires one Frifer fusion monster plus one or more Waffle and or Edge M monster. When this card is fusion summoned, you can target one Frifer monster in your graveyard, special summon it. All Frifer monsters you control gain 4 attack. If this card was fusion summoned using 3 or more fusion materials, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Frifer Sheep requires Edge Imp, Chain, and one Waffle monster. If this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card is in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card, and if you do, it gains 800 attack. You can only use this effect once per turn. Frifer Tiger requires Edge Imp Cybridge, Cybris, and one or more Fluffle monsters. When this card is fusion summoned, you can target cards on the field up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon. Destroy them. All Frifer monsters you control gain 300 attack for each Fluffle monster and Frifer monster you control. You can only control one Frifer Tiger. And Frifer Wolf requires Edge Imp Cybers and one or more Fluffle monsters. This card can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon. Ooh. Okay. Now, test this out. And my apologies if the video uploads are a little light this week. It's been hella busy. Yeah, Sora's deck is devastating. I mean, this deck is one of those very well balanced decks. It's just like not that dissimilar to Jaden's deck as far as like utilizing fusions at its utmost speciality. This might be a little difficult because Shay's Raid Raptor deck is no joke. That's one of my favorite decks. I'll be utilizing again in another video because, man, I love the Raid Raptor deck. Honestly, it's probably gonna be my favorite Xyz themed deck, the Raid Raptors. Probably like right up there with the Blackwing theme deck is my favorite synchro type of deck, because it's just like so perfect in getting like monsters out there, and half of the time it's very powerful, or at least 7 out of 10 times, 7 or 8 out of 10 times you definitely can get some powerful monsters right off the bat. It's right up there with like with Ray Raptor, Frightfur, Elemental Hero, Yusei's deck. Those are great decks to make sure like you get resupplied with materials that you need to get more monsters out on the field and just dominate the field. Crap. Here we go. Rise Falcon. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, I got nothing. That was like a smooth ass move he did, honestly. Not even gonna lie, you get the gist of it with Sora. But okay. Last match, I'm gonna do this one match to end the main villain 3-parter video. We're gonna be 4 parts for the next month when I do like my favorite decks. Seven. Oh, he has a rank. Ugh. Yeah, not so much. Let's try one more time. I blundered that up. Freaking blunder. Yeah, I got nothing. Ugh. Yeah, kind of ended the video on like a whimper, but yeah, some point next month I'll be yeah, I'll be, you know, making like my, you know, utilizing the decks that I really enjoy, that's not necessarily themed on any particular character. So look forward to that soon. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. It's going over already over 2 hours. So I'll see you guys later on the weekend for another movie review and a couple of TV shows reviews. So take care everybody. I'll see you guys later.